I first met Doug in 2015 when he was working on the Fort Fairlawn project right here in Moncks Corner. And I had the opportunity to go spend a good afternoon with Doug, and his love of the history and his ability to connect all of these places with events and time, really, I just had enormous respect for him. When people think of conservation, generally they think of just land. And Doug was able to connect land with people and history and what it means to the future. And he wasn't just interested in saving the spot where some event took place, but he wanted to save the landscape, so when you went there, you got a feel for what it was like when the event took place.
I met Doug Bostick several years ago when his organization, the South Carolina Battlegrounds Trust, got together with our organization, the American Battlefield Trust, to propose something that had never been done before. That led to the creation of the Liberty Trail, which is an effort that combines battlefield preservation with both on-site and online interpretation of South Carolina's Revolutionary War battlefields. So we're saving the land, but we're also telling the story in new ways, both on-site with traditional trails and signage that tell what happened on the ground, but also online and through augmented reality and virtual reality. Doug's fingerprints are all over that.
The war was won in South Carolina, and we had more battles here than any other state. And Doug wanted to tell the story, and so it was a very ambitious plan, which is coming to fruition. And Doug wanted people to hear the historical facts, and they used the battlegrounds as a way to get people to focus on the history.
It was an honor to work with him just because of the type of person that he was. He was warm, he was welcoming. Doug's gift truly was his ability to tell a story. Doug could tell what happened on a battlefield, and not just the troop movements and back and forth, but also the personalities of the people involved, as if it just happened last week, and also as if he knew the participants personally. So what Doug was able to do that made him so much different from anybody else we've ever worked with was how he could bring those stories to life.
Doug was a jolly soul. I never saw him angry. All I saw from him was a smile and a determination. He was an intellect, obviously, and he could go off on all the details of various events in history, but he was a kind person and a jolly soul. When I think about him, that's what comes to my mind. He loved this state, and he wanted to preserve as much of it as he could, and he didn't see any difference between preserving the land and preserving the sense of place. He saw that as all one and the same.
When it comes to battlefield preservation, when future generations look back on what Doug has done and what we are doing through the Liberty Trail in South Carolina, it's not so much what they will see, it's what they won't see. When they go to these places, they won't see massive developments. They won't see townhouse developments. They won't see commercial buildings. They will see preserved battlefields, or in some cases, like Eutaw Springs, they'll see restored battlefields. And they may never know that at one point those places were compromised with development and buildings and other things that marred the landscape. I think Doug would very much agree that his legacy will be those preserved battlefields. Those are his monuments. And even if it doesn't bear his name, there's no sign there to Doug Bostick, he doesn't care. All he cared about was making sure that these hallowed grounds, which were so important to our country winning its freedom, his whole focus was making sure that those were preserved pretty much as the soldiers saw them, so that future generations could go there and learn from them. And to the extent we can continue to do that, that's how we can honor his legacy.